Hello and welcome to the first discussion as part of our SDG expert interview series in partnership with SDG Innovate. We'll be speaking with experts, innovators, companies and other organisations to learn more about how they're working to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. My name is Callum. I'm the Smart Cities and Digitalisation Advisor at the UNDP Global Centre for Technology, Innovation and Sustainable Development. I'm joined today by Esther An, Chief Sustainability Officer at CDL, City Developments Limited, here in Singapore. CDL is a leading global real estate operating company working in 103 locations in 29 countries and regions. It is one of the largest companies on the Singapore Stock Exchange. Esther, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure, Glenn.
Thank you. Just to share a bit of your background with our listeners, Esther has been an active advocate for sustainability for over 2 decades. She has been instrumental in establishing CDL's leadership in integrating environmental, social, and governance best practice across CDL. Her efforts have led to CDL being the highest ranked real estate company on the 2020 Global 100 Most Sustainable Corporations Index. She has also been recognized by the UN Global Compact as one of their SDG pioneers. Esther, it's great to have you speak with us.
Well, my pleasure, yeah.
Just to kick us off, sustainability is a central aspect of your work, perhaps highlighted by the CDL ethos of conserving as we construct. What inspired this approach?
Well, actually, we are very glad that we have started the sustainability journey as far back as 1995, and during a time that climate change and global warming was not quite considered as a mainstream issues, whether it is on the political or business agenda. And at that time, the group has actually started globalization, and what we feel is we have to review our business model to transform to one that has to be, more sustainable and also aligned with the global practices. So how we first started is actually building and construction sector during that time. In our part of the world, were not considered as like causing, a much positive impact on the environment. So what we feel is we should confront it instead of, causing negative environment impact. We should conserve as we construct. So that was a more defensive approach that, more like a risk mitigation rather than adaptation, like what we are focusing on today. And of course, during that era, there was not so hard pressed in terms of time. But today we are all talking about climate emergency. And of course, the pace today is much, much faster in terms of sustainability, in terms of embracing ESG, and of course, SDG in the way we live, work, and play, and in the way we build and we manage our properties.
Esther, thank you. That's a really interesting angle, particularly your focus there on the longer term. Actually, one of your targets for 2030 is to increasingly adopt new technologies to build green buildings. How do you identify these innovations and where do they increasingly come from? Is it universities, startups, in-house or somewhere else?
So green building has been in the core of our, business priority for close to 2 decades now. So, of course, technology, are most important to make that quantum leap in how we can build more sustainably and how we can manage with resource with efficiency as the top priority, and how we could work towards a low carbon economy. So, innovation has been our number 1 material issue since 2017, and we have actually started materiality studies since 2014. So in 2017, innovation emerged as the number 1 material issues, and it has maintained that for a few years now. Now, investors and stakeholders are taking a long-term view, and therefore innovation become number 1 material issues. So, of course, internally, we set up our own enterprise innovation committee, dedicating our resources and people's capability to scout for good technology, to scout for good solutions. And of course, we also tap onto external capability. We have actually partnered with the local university, the National University Singapore or NUS, and we have set up 2 labs since 2017. One is called the Tropical Technology Labs. The other one is a Smart Green Home Lab. So we tap onto the universities, the talent and the best brain brains in Singapore to come up with good technology solutions that can improve the thermal comfort, in the tropical region, and to improve on, the users' connectivities, or, comfort, and to reduce humidity, and how we could improve, live, work and entertainment space in our property. And we also invest in venture capitals and startups that focus on sustainability, such as the US-based Fifth Wall, and also the London-based Pupil, which is a recent AI measurement startup based in London. And all these, we also actually believe in young social innovator. We set up a new a co-office space. We called it the incubator for SDG. Basically, we provide rent-free space for some of our startup in Singapore from 1 to 3 years old. And what we want to help them is to scale up their business model and help them grow by providing them with like rent-free space, as well as like network and mentorship.
Excellent. So as you mentioned there, your portfolio includes a number of property types and also a number of different stakeholders across all aspects of urban life. For CDL, what does the concept of a smart city mean?
Smart city or building is one that utilizes data and also technologies to improve the way we design, we build, and manage our spaces in a more effective and also sustainable manner. So ultimately, it actually has to contribute to, environmental conservation and users, comfort and productivity, connectivities, and also a low carbon economy. And of course, we have like a diverse portfolio, but the benefits of smart and green spaces, such as like better air quality, connectivities, conducive environment, all are actually applicable to work or living spaces.
Excellent. Just to stay with us a little bit longer. So CDL has a global presence. You're operating in more than 29 countries around the world. So in those countries that are developing rapidly, for example, places such as Indonesia, Malaysia, and the Philippines, how do you see smart cities playing a role in improving people's lives?
Well, like I said, actually smart and sustainable cities actually goes hand in hand. And well, as an SDG ambassador, I would like to plug in that SDG is really a common language that connect countries and cultures and peoples together. And every country actually appreciates the benefits of like clean air, clear blue skies, health and well-being, and all that. So by embracing SDG, actually it will really improve life and the environment more significantly. And that also can lead to, benefits for the economy as well. And I would say that embracing SDG will really help emerging market and economy better. And such as, there are actually a lot more opportunities in such economies that to help, to improve access to electricity, clean water, food, healthcare, and facility. And it also will help to, improve like gender equality and labor conditions.
Definitely, and really interesting stuff. Out of interest, what have you learned from working across such a large number of countries? Which other organizations focusing on building smart and sustainable cities would benefit from knowing?
Well, actually, I would feel that the world is getting, digitally closer, but actually physically more distant, especially during this time, that we have, the global pandemic. But I think one thing that we learn is like connectivities, technologies, and they really help us to counter the difficult times. And of course, in the business world, we are all, very adhere to the so-called social distance and also the business continuity plan. And our company have already started working, splitting, the workforce into different sites, for a couple of months now. And without technology, without connectivities, can you imagine that how we could continue our business? So what we feel is for smart and sustainable city, we need to rely on technologies to connect people to continue to run our business.
Fantastic. And that's actually a great link to our final question. As we've been discussing, technology and innovation are clearly at the heart of the work of CDL. What 2 or 3 technologies or innovations do you think could shape your work over the coming years?
Well, I suppose well, artificial intelligence, digitalization definitely is very important. Whichever industry you are relying on all these technologies to connect us, to also to look at data, to analyze data, and of course to look at like blockchain technology and how all these actually will have a big impact to change the way business operate and to communicate. And the second technology, I think robotic technology is very, very important. And while you have drone that you really can fly in the air and go underground or even underwater, and that is a very, very important technologies to help us to collect data, to look at issues, and to help us find solutions as well. So intelligent robots that operate effectively in the real world can help construction industry, building industry, and landlords to manage our building better and to help to improve the living and workspace for our stakeholders. And of course, I think the third technology or innovations or trend that I would like to look at is actually sharing economy. And I would like to, and I think many would agree that the sharing economy, has actually transformed the way we live, work, travel, and even we, consumes and all that. Businesses have to transform their business to look at all these new, to embrace all this new technology and to also embrace all this new trend of like sharing economy, circular economy. And I think the world continues to change tremendously and at a very fast pace. And today, the global pandemic actually pressed the alarm that we have to even change even faster and adopt more flexible and effective solutions to continue, our business, to continue life. And well, we hope that technology will really help us to tackle this global pandemic, and hopefully everybody can, get back to normal life soon.
So that's a very obviously important and very topical point. Thank you again for your time today. It's been a very interesting discussion.
Thank you, Caleb.
Thank you also to all of you for joining us virtually. It's been great to have you with us. Please do keep following our SDG expert interview series, and please do let us know if there are any particular topics or organisations or individuals that we should be speaking to. You can reach us on Twitter at UNDP Tech, that's TECH. Until the next time, thank you for listening.